you beautiful, lovely, gorgeous individuals to another edition of Talking Sam. I am your host, Sam Macias, and with me today is probably one of the most influential, innovative, charismatic, hilarious voiceover actors you will find on YouTube today with all his abridged shows dedicated to shows like The Owl House, Amphibia, Hazbin Hotel, and probably so much more coming down the way. He is the one, he is the only, Tomatasauce. Tomata, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Howdy, thanks for having me. I am flattered of that introduction.
And when someone like you comes onto my show here, I gotta, amped up the introduction. I gotta match the energy. And my friend, you definitely have that kind of energy you gotta match.
Well, what can I say? I do bring a lot into the booth every single time after record. I go a little off the rails. We have fun here.
Oh yeah, and you definitely do with you and your friends doing the all the abridged, the dubs, and everything like that. But before we get into all that, I want to get into a little bit about you, how and kind of the origins of tomato sauce. Because when I first heard your name, I went, okay, what's happening here? He just decided to put two things together. So what did the name tomato sauce originated from? Were you putting some names together to try to give yourself a moniker on YouTube to stand out? Were you workshopping some names, or could there have been a time where potato spice would have been the channel name? What was the origins of tomato sauce?
Oh, that's a fun story. So the origins of tomato sauce are actually quite interesting. It started years ago.
Mm.
Before I think TikTok was even an app that existed.
Oh wow.
Uh, it was forever ago. And when you have older siblings, you usually look up to them for a lot of fields. So I'm a middle child myself.
Ah, I
And
see.
ignore the cough, sorry. My older brother, he had recently made a Steam account. He was getting some Steam games and stuff on his computer. And I was kind of jealous because I didn't really have any sort of like gamer tag for anything. And I
Oh.
had just gotten like I think a 3DS, and you can make like a tag there for like your Nintendo account.
Mhm.
I was just like, but what do I want to like name myself? And I loved Sonic the Hedgehog, so my name on everything was just like
Ah.
Sonic and then just my first name. Not creative, I know, but it was the age of like Game Boy Advance, so
Right.
who
Yeah, that's a
no
lot of
one online
workshop.
was gonna see it.
Yeah, a lot of workshops happening here.
But he decided that his gamer tag was going to be a misspelling, mispronounced asparagus, which he pronounced asparagus. And
Ah.
that was his gamer tag on a lot of stuff, specifically Steam for a while. He's changed it today to something really cool and original. I love what he has it as today. But it was asparagus. And I was asking, I was like, how do you come up with that? Or like, how would I make some sort of name? He's like, well, you can just do what I did. Like, I think it sounds pretty cool. Sure, you run the risk of some people mispronouncing it, but if you like the name, it should stick. And so I was like,
Right.
okay, well, what do I like? And I was just in a kind of swarm, I guess, of just thinking of tons of different food names or just names of things that I could possibly mispronounce, misspell to like a cool name. And we were eating some kind of meat, and my mom got some ketchup for me out of the fridge. And I was like, ketchup, tomato, salt, marinara. Ooh, not marinara sauce, tomato sauce. How can I?
Ah.
Because I love tomato sauce, marinara sauce, ketchup, like salsa. I love things made with tomatoes. Fun fact about me, though, I actually don't like raw tomatoes.
Oh
I just
wow.
like the I
Okay.
just love the things that tomatoes are used in.
Okay.
Um, so I guess it's a fitting name, but that was just like tomota, and I made that my gamer tag, and
Okay.
that was just kind of how it started. It was just supposed to be a gamer tag. It was just a way to identify myself in game and not have it just be my real name when I'm hanging out with my brother or like any of my few online friends at the time. But as time went on, it went from gamer tag to I had to make a login for stuff. So I was like, oh shoot. Well, login for TikTok, an account name. I guess I'll just make it Tomato Sauce, whatever. Um, and I put that there. When I made my YouTube, it was something completely different before Tomato Sauce, I believe. But eventually I
Okay.
switched it to Tomoda, and that just kind of became the thing. But never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that there would be a time when I found myself doing homework at a desk. And next to me in the family room, my mom is watching like Food Network. And one of the chefs say, I need a batch of tomato sauce for this. And I look over like someone was trying to get my attention. Never did I think that that would be the case. And yet here we are. But yeah, and I also never thought that it would be one of the most recognized like dubbing names in like the Amphibia or Owl House communities of all
Hmm.
things. Like a cartoonist YouTuber with the name Tomotasauce. That's so random, but it's stuck. And I'm lucky that I came up with something original when I did, and I just happened to still be using it because if I didn't think of a name, that would probably be a huge struggle for me right now, I'm sure. Just thinking of some kind of handle online to go by. But Tomoda's what stuck, and I love it so much. It's become my second name, really.
Absolutely. It's one of those happy accidents that happen, and we're just glad it's stuck with it, and we don't want it to ever change. And
Mm-mm.
absolutely not. And going by some of the videos that you have that you posted, you're it feels like you're a performer through and through. And based on the personality that you have as well, I was curious. At a young age, was that always so natural to you being a performer, or was that a skill that you kind of developed throughout the years as time went on when you're doing plays or YouTube or anything like that?
No, absolutely not,
Hmm.
actually. It was it was let me think here. Well, I know that I was afraid of a lot of things growing up. I didn't want to learn how to swim. I didn't like a lot of foods. I was like a picky eater.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't like risks. I certainly had stage fright. I would never dare sing in front of anyone, let alone do random voices. But then high school came around and it kind of got me opening up to more things, more people. It was changing me a bit because I was very, I guess, closed off is the word
Hmm.
when I was younger. But then in 10th grade, at the very end, after school had finished and I was on summer break, I saw a lot of videos get recommended to me of like professional voiceover artists in their booths, like doing stuff for movies like Pixar or
Hmm.
Blue Sky and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
And I was just like, this looks so cool. So this is how it's done. And I just went down like a rabbit hole for like a week of just watching that process. And I was thrilled and just like, this is amazing. And I went to my mom and I was like, um, I want to try to do this. And she's like, well, perfect. You can make that your minor for next year. I know this is not how a lot of high schools work, but the way that my high school worked is that we chose a major and we
Oh
could take
wow.
the classes for that for those 4 years. And then we had a senior project. And then we got two minor courses. So each one would be 2 years long. I chose guitar as my first one, thinking that that would be my like clicking.
Hmm.
It was not. And obviously acting as my second one.
Okay.
And acting was the big breakthrough. I was nervous as heck because I was like, I don't want to go on stage and act. I just want to do this. And my mom said, and I quote, well, how are you going to get to the mic if you can't even perform in front of a person? And I
That,
was like, well, you got a point. It's like you
yeah,
can't voice act if you don't know how to act. And the
that's
rest
true.
in high school, after I started taking acting class and making those friends, that is when I started morphing into a theater kid,
Okay. Now,
which
and
made me into what I am now.
and we love you for it, man. And speaking on that, what was that kind of your first introduction into acting as a whole before you started doing more of the voiceover performing wise?
And I'd have to say in seventh grade, it was my last year of middle school slash elementary school because I went to the same elementary slash middle school up to seventh, then
Okay.
transferred to a school to go to eighth grade to meet some people to go to that high school.
Hmm.
I just transferred to that eighth grade middle school for that 1 year, met people. They are now like my closest friends on earth for almost a decade
Oh
today.
wow.
But they went to that high school. I went somewhere else out of
Oh.
my own like choice. But yeah, that's how I know we have a good friendship is because like we stayed in contact that whole time and now they're
Yep.
basically like a second family to me, all those
Hmm.
guys. So that's cool. But that was off topic. Anyway, performing. Seventh grade, talent show. I really wanted to get over my fear of singing, so I sang I don't remember the is it Bastille? I forgot, but like a band did a song. It was around the time that the animated hit film Peabody and Sherman came out.
I think I know which one you're talking. Bastille, I think it's the name of
Bastille,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
They
Bastille.
released their song Pompeii, and I sang that
Mm.
at
Oh,
the
oh
talent
wow.
show. And a lot of my classmates were like, "Wow, you can sing really well." And I was like, "I don't think so, but okay." They're actually like really impressed. And even one of the kids that was bullying me that year was like, "Dude, that
Oh
was
wow.
freaking awesome." I was like, "What the heck?" And then I left the school.
Oh my god.
But
Oh, what an ending to that story, let me just say.
right? Yeah, I'd say that was probably the first time I like broke the ice into that field slightly, just planted the
Hmm.
seed in my head. The first time I got on stage and performed something after getting like this new motivation
Hmm.
was when our school performed a production of Hamlet. We did not have a huge budget in theater at my high school, so we did black box theater. For
Oh,
anybody listening who
interesting.
does not know what black box theater is where you have like limited props, some costumes, and you don't have much of a set. Because usually the place that does it is they're doing it out of just like it's more about the story and the actors than the set, or they can't afford it. Mine, it was option two.
Oh.
Um, but like it was yeah, I just went to high school and like it was like 35 minutes away from where I lived. It was a very different area, but my older brother went there and he loved it there. So I wanted to go as well, and I had a great time. But we did black box theater and we performed Hamlet. But
Nice,
our
nice.
our acting teacher made the decision to make it Vampire Hamlet.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
hey, now that's unique.
Oh, it was unique, all right. Needless to say, it was quite cringeworthy. There are quite a few people in the class that were taking it because they thought it would be an easier course.
Mm,
Um, so it kind of brought down the rest of us that wanted to do acting, but at the same time, we were happy to be there. We were happy to learn.
nice, nice. And from that performance on, how has that kind of helped you when you go on to the next performance that you do, and after that?
Um, I guess it's kind of familiarized myself with the fact that like audiences aren't going to like boo and throw, no pun intended, throw tomatoes at like the performers or anything.
Hmm.
They're not evil. They're just people and they are here to see a show. You deliver. If things go wrong, so what? Like it's not that big a deal. And recently, just about 2 weeks ago, I finished production of a community theater nearby me. We put on The Play That Goes Wrong. Absolutely phenomenal show. And that's an example of a show with a set that's fully functioning, like breaking platforms, things are getting demolished, and we're
Oh
making the
wow,
audience laugh. And it's just absolutely hysterical. Amazing time on stage. And I miss that.
that's amazing. Do you feel like the experience that you've gone through at your earlier years kind of helped you get ready for the performance that you did for this play?
If early years you mean the high school portion, absolutely. 100%, because my acting teacher, his name was Fuchs, great guy. I could not have done this without him. He taught
Nice.
me like everything that I know or knew up to a point about acting and just gave me so much practice and what to think about, what to do, things that he's done. The advice that he gave was awesome, and he was definitely the nicest and best teacher that I had there. I had the strongest bond with him, which helped because he was also my math teacher. But what a guy. And he helped me on that journey big time. Also because of that class, that helped me find my first relationship,
Mm,
and she dragged me into more the musical theater scene, which was great because that helped me audition after I graduated high school for a musical at said community theater where we just did Play That Goes Wrong, and I auditioned for Young Frankenstein the musical,
oh
and
wow.
I got the lead. I
How
was
about
shocked.
that? All right.
I was shocked, and I was like, "You guys are sure about this?" But they were, and it was one of the best experiences of my life.
Hey,
Absolute best.
I can see a Gene Wilder in you, my friend. I can definitely see it. Now, from there on, you now have entered this world of content creation. whether it be the voice acting you do, the dubs, whether it be on, I'm not sure. Did you ever do Vine back in the day for your dubs?
No, the
No.
dubs are purely new. They're a YouTube thing.
YouTube, okay. And and before we get into the YouTube, there was one TikTok that you did. Probably on used to be on YouTube too, but you
Ah, yes.
you did the famous higher ground line from Star Wars in the voice of Mickey and Donald. First off, let me just say that that's an incredible video. It's one of the OG videos out there. How did that idea come to be? Like, did you just how much practice did you had to take to really get your voice to mimic precisely how both the characters of Mickey and Donald and try to go word for the line?
Well, for Mickey, it was just playing around
Mm-hmm.
with the voice and the range throughout high school and just kind of messing with people and my friends with the voices. Donald was, I started practicing that one early high school, and to this day, I'm still mastering it. So it's been practice for like years, maybe like 7 years now.
Interesting.
To get to where it is now, which is sounds, oh my god!
Like it takes
Ooh.
a lot of practice, but
It,
practice makes perfect.
I'm just gonna say that sounds smooth as silk, man. That came out so perfectly clear. Let me just say.
Thank you.
Now, when you first started your YouTube channel, as I was going back on Tomotasauce, way back in the day, you first started off with a one of those classic AMV videos for several shows and characters, and then the next video after you announced the Abridged show for the Owl House. What was the decision for you to kind of not pivot away from making those AMV videos, but to start right away of a bridge for the Owl House?
So that was a weird phase, actually.
Mm.
I was on TikTok for a while, but I wasn't on there to make money, get viral, anything like that. I actually went on there because my older brother one day is like, "You've got these great impressions, but you can't do much with them except for like go to
Mm-hmm.
school and make like a select amount of people laugh, maybe." He's like, "Just get a place where you can just post the crap, just like go crazy." He's like, "It's garbage, according to you, because I said it's garbage. It's just random marbled garbage." And he's like, "Yeah, just get TikTok. It's a perfect place where you can just record random little snippets and throw them
Mm-hmm.
up onto the internet." So I was like, you know what? Good idea. And I did that and just kind of started doing the voices of Mickey and Donald with like little puppets because I saw there were plenty of huge creators like the Donald Duck on TikTok with like over, well, I think it's like 25 million followers right now. Um, he DM'd me about the impression at one point, actually. That's how
Really?
impressed he was. Yeah.
Wow.
But that's how that all kind of began with like the voicing field of getting anything out there. It was random and it was garbage, but circling back to your question earlier about where the idea came from for the Eye of the High Ground dub,
Mm-hmm.
that was actually one of my college professors for
Oh,
pre-visualization class, aka like
okay.
storyboarding for animation, how movies are made, stuff like that. And he had worked on some of the older Star Wars movies,
Oh,
and he
wow.
was a big fan of it, always brought it up, referenced it in his lessons, and he was a very funny guy. And one class, he was referencing it a ton. And so I was just like, you know what? That gives me an idea. And so I went home and I just recorded my laptop screen
Mm-hmm.
and I did the dub of the voices. And then I found the music for that part of the score in the movie, and I recorded it on my phone in my car with the speakers, put it together, and posted it.
Wow.
And I posted it right before I went to rehearsal for a showing of Young Frankenstein.
Okay.
And as I got there, I was just sitting in the chair while some people were rehearsing their lines, and I saw it was exploding. This was my first taste of anything going like internet crazy ever, like
Mm-hmm.
viral, anything. And I was shocked. Everybody around me was shocked. We were all like, "What is happening?" Um, and that was just insane. And so I just kept making the dubs, not hoping for anything specific, but
Mm-hmm.
I just kept making them. Most of them are still up on TikTok to this day. But I have nothing against if the app gets deleted. I've deleted it like 2 months ago, and I've been so much more like proficient with my time because I'm not doom scrolling anymore. That app
Right.
is just horrible with that.
Yeah.
Horrible for
Mm-hmm.
self-control. So I'm very glad that that is happening. I know a lot of people aren't, but like I'm kind of okay with it because I've got all of my TikTok videos I ever made backed up on my computer on a hard drive.
Oh, nice.
And if it happens and my videos are taken down, oh well. Like I have nothing to hide with them, but at the same time, like I don't want to purposefully hide them if people still want to see them. But at the same time,
Hmm.
just like that's just an older part of me. Like, don't judge the random era of me doing stuff with dolls.
Right. And speaking on that, we won't get too deep in that in that subject because that's a whole different conversation. But say if TikTok does get shut down, do you maybe think of maybe moving some of those maybe popular TikToks that you made onto your YouTube for the shorts portion of it, or you will just want to keep those separate?
Definitely separate. They
Separate.
are a much older part of me and a lot more unprofessional,
Mm,
but in the best way possible. It's all just funny, but
right.
it's not linked with anything specifically anymore. It's just like it's a part of who I am and how I got here, but no reason to share it now. It has nothing to do with what I'm doing. Instead, I'd rather post videos like the loser baby video that I posted
Yeah.
for Hazbin with
Mm,
Mickey and Donald, because people still love those, and people still love the Mickey and Donald voices. My most viral video is the Mario movie trailer with those
yes.
impressions, and I'm like kind of mad about that, but also not. Like I was so happy, because it reminded me of that time of TikTok. So I can still do them. It's just I'll do it with my new style, I guess.
Nice.
The
And by the,
puppets have outlived that era.
they truly have. And by the way, the Mickey Donald loser baby, chef's kiss, my friend. Fantastic work there.
Thank
So
you.
like I said earlier, innovative to a T. And now you're in kind of one of these rare levels of YouTube where anytime you post a video on there, it instantly gets almost 10,000 views within the next 24 hours. When you were starting this channel that you were doing, did you ever think you could ever get to this point where you post a video and bam, it can either get either a million views or 500,000? Doesn't matter. It's somewhere in that range.
Absolutely not. Never. I actually never just in my life thought that I would ever be on social media that much to begin with, let alone that it would become my job. Like, this
Right.
was such a huge switch for me, and it's opened up an unbelievable amount of opportunities and doors for different people that I've met, different commissions that I've made to people and that people have made to me. I've gotten some roles out of it. I'm gonna start working on my demo reel and like
Mm.
trying to work my way into the industry, going to these conventions. It's absolutely stunning. It like never in a million years did I think that YouTube would be my job. If a future version of myself had gone back to my high school self right now, just sitting in free time in class, first I'd say first I'd say, what the heck are you doing? You should be doing your homework. And then I'd say, if you guess what, we're gonna be a YouTuber. And I would watch my own reaction be like, huh, okay. Like
And
there's uh-uh.
going off based on, like you say, making a career on YouTube, you made a career of doing a bridge series for the Outhouse, Amphibia, and now Hazbin Hotel. I gotta say, the Abridged series is one of the most popular kind of voiceover, I guess you could say, genres in YouTube, going back to the Dragon Ball Bridge and so many others. Were we doing an Abridged series where, I've heard some, read and some stories about some of these videos getting taken down for copyright and this and that. Were you worried going into that when you were first starting the Abridged series?
Yes, that was my biggest fear actually. Because I was not getting that many views. My stuff was getting popular and I
Mm,
was gaining subscribers fast, but views were random. And I didn't know what to expect because I was still very new to the formula. And I also didn't know that copyright doesn't really apply if you're not monetizing content. You can use all the
okay.
copyrighted content you want, you just can never monetize it if you get into the partner program. I
I
didn't
see.
know that though. Now I know that. So like if I want to do a thing like the loser baby cover, I'm just like, okay, I'll just know that I'm not making any money from this, but I want to do it. So here you go.
Okay.
That's where things like Patreon come in.
Right.
But before, when I didn't know that, biggest fear. I was afraid that I would put a lot of effort into something and it would get taken down because my older brother also shared that worry because when I first started with Abridged, The first one was going to be Owl House Abridged,
Mhm.
as you said. Oh yeah, I never did answer that. Just real quick, with that TikTok thing, I wanted to move to YouTube so that I could do more voices of just me and not the 2 impressions. I wanted to do more of me. So I tried to move to YouTube, and all I could do at the time were those just little like music video edits because I wanted to improve my editing.
Right.
And so I was just doing that to be a nerd and, do it because I love all these shows and people like them. There are 2 I deleted, but I still have them and I can probably share them at some point. But
Okay.
that was just me like when I moved.
Okay. I'm throwing this idea for you. Patreon exclusive maybe down the road.
Oh, that is a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like here's a little history. You'll never
Right?
have seen this on the internet. I wanted to move to abridgment stuff because I wanted to do dubs. And I was just like, okay, we can make this work. The 2 biggest inspirations for that were actually my older brother, who
Mhm.
introduced me to a bridge series on the internet to begin with, and my friend Jenna. She's known as Garcy Bear,
Mm.
who voices Amity in Owl House Abridged.
Oh,
She
nice.
was the collector in the Bellows theme song Takeover, and she's Sasha in Amphibia Abridged. And
Oh,
in Hazbin
nice.
Hotel, she's going to be cast as Vaggie.
Hey,
She is
shout out to
my
her.
yeah. You rule, Jen. If you're watching this, you're probably not. She's not on the internet much. She doesn't even watch these shows except for Hazbin.
It makes sense.
Um,
Hey, I'm nobody on here, so that makes total sense.
Everybody's a nobody at some point. You got to remember that. I
That's
was told
true.
that a couple days ago.
That is true.
She's my best friend, and we watched a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged by Little Karibo
Mm.
back in middle school and starting high school and I think he's my biggest inspiration when it comes to abridged style humor. That was the series I watched. I have never seen Dragon Ball Abridged. I've seen
Okay.
clips, but Little Karibo is like my idol when it comes to abridgment stuff. His series was legendary. It is the main thing me and my older brother bonded with. It was the main thing me and Jenna, and then soon others in our friend group bonded with, is
Nice.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. And creators like him were just incredible. And so we always joked about possibly doing an abridged series. And I was like, we could do the anime called Fire Force, or we could try like our
Mm.
hand at My Hero Academia. But that was because the status quo back then was like, it can only be anime. You won't really
Hmm.
find a lot of Western animated abridged stuff like mine. And it's because when you look up abridged series, everybody knows it as like the anime parody series.
Right.
And that's because their copyright is different, which is why there are so many longer anime abridged episodes out there. But when I was starting mine, I was super into Owl House. So Jenna was joking and she's just like, I should be included in one of them if you ever make an abridged series. But I mean, you have the setup. And I'm like, you know what? I could. The original Owl House Abridged pilot was going to be 8 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
Um, that would have been taken down easily. My editing was not up to par at the time. The
Okay.
footage used would totally get copyright struck by Disney. Like, it's not even a question. What I found with doing my short dubs
Mhm.
is I wasn't even looking for a way around copyright. I just wanted to do short, funny dubs. But I found out that form of content, and I won't share too much on this because there are methods to my madness.
I see.
Um,
Okay.
but I'll just say there's a reason why you don't see any other creators on the platform of YouTube as a whole even attempting to do what I'm doing.
Hmm.
I am the only one that's doing it. And I didn't even know that until some creators that I looked up to in the abridged scene came up to me and thanked me for
Oh,
saving their channels.
wow.
They were starting to go downhill, a couple of them, or like have a ton of issues with them. And then they
Mhm.
saw my sudden rise and my format of how I was doing things, what humor I was using, how I was posting, scheduled things, and just all sorts of other stuff. And they're like, this kid's something else. What's happening? And I met them all in person at UmaCon in Detroit last year in November.
Okay.
And they told me this, and I was shocked. So, like, when it comes to bridge stuff, yeah, it literally just kind of happened. I had my inspirations, but my biggest fear was getting copyright struck. That has only happened one time ever. And it was before a video even got posted. Disney
Oh,
just was like, hold on, this part, you didn't edit that much. And I was like, oh, you know what? It's the music I used. And I
okay.
switched it, and that is the only copyright issue I've ever had. The videos are far too short. But that's just one of the methods on my list of just, I guess, trade secrets of how I do my Abridged series. But yeah, it's not a fear anymore, just because I know that it has changed greatly from the original media.
Right. And it kind of sounds like we need to add another title to your long list of titles as the abridged savior, if you will.
I suppose so. Not necessarily, because I know that there are still tons of series that are going
Mhm.
on strong. But it is cool being one of the big names now.
Yeah, that's true.
I used to look up to like all these big names, and now I'm like part of their club a little bit.
I was gonna ask, are you kind of now in that table that they've kind of set up for years and years? Have they invited you to that table now?
Absolutely. I'd feel yes. And
Nice.
I almost cried when I found that out at YumaCon. It was absolutely outstanding because all these creators I had looked up to for so long, like they all knew who I was.
Wow.
Not a single one of them didn't. And I was just shocked beyond belief. It was outstanding. And now we're all working together on stuff. I recently, my buddy Grimjack,
Hmm.
part of the Schmuck Squad, just posted another episode of Goblin Slayer Bridge starting season 2, and I got to voice a character in that, and I am so
Oh,
happy that got released today. Super cool. Definitely go check it out, listeners.
that's right.
Um,
Listen to the sauce here now.
but yeah, I'd say absolutely. It does feel like I'm just kind of at that level with them a little bit, which is hard to believe. It doesn't really feel like it, but like I can understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I remember listening to a podcast around Super Bowl weekend, and one of the podcasters mentioned how YouTube has pretty much changed the game for content creation and creators itself. It's there's massive boom that it has, whether it be for dubbing, reactions, or anything and everything in between. How do you feel the culture and the current age of YouTube has changed, and how you felt you have benefited from it so far?
um, I'd say it's switched as far as like with the influence that apps like TikTok have had with
Hmm.
attention spans getting kind of decimated a little bit has affected how people are making their content on here. So a lot of people that are unfamiliar with the style of apps like TikTok, their creations and their subscribers are kind of like varying a little bit,
Mm,
or it kind of makes their channel slow down. While a lot of these newer creators that understand that method can kind of rise up quicker. But then again, I've also seen people that have never used that app before
really?
skyrocket.
Oh.
And YouTube pushes strange things. And one video can explode, and you can either do two things: keep that momentum going or kill it. You kill it if you
Oh.
make a banger video, an absolute just wonder of a video, and you make another one that's completely unrelated that's just like, well, this is what I actually wanted to post. And you'll see this a lot with like younger creators where they'll
Hmm.
make like a really funny meme and it'll just explode and they'll get so excited and like thank their new followers and people that liked, and they'll post a couple more, but not of that meme. They'll just do their own thing of what they wanted to do before, thinking those people were there for that, and they leave. And it's
Oh.
really sad to see. I've seen it happen a couple times. For me, that was me with the posting the AMV videos at first.
Hmm.
Then I started the dubs, but the thing is I went in reverse. I was doing the music videos and I wasn't too into that. It was just like a practice thing. And then I started doing the dubs and that exploded, but I was always going to want to keep going.
Ah, I see.
And I continued to expand and build this audience, which is just kind of how I got to where I am now. So I guess that's my response to it. YouTube is confusing, but like even I don't really understand its methods anymore. I'm still relatively new to the game.
Hey, same here. The algorithm, if I could say the least, is very disheartening at times, but also, like you said, the boom could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
100%.
Oh yeah. Now speaking on pretty much being invited to the table with all these other great creators in the Abridged series. That's pretty much opened the door for you to be on panels for these conventions like a MegaCon that you have mentioned numerous times in your videos. Congratulations, by the way. How's that feeling like being not only going there as a fan, but now being invited there as a creator, as someone who has influence in the world of geekdom?
Oh, it's truly special, specifically because MomoCon was my first convention ever. I've never been to a con before. Going to MomoCon with Elijah last year was like such a special, life-changing experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then like being able to make more connections and with those connections be able to get invited to MomoCon as a guest myself is beyond massive. Like I am over the moon about this and I am so excited for what I'm going to bring to the table at the con in a couple months.
Nice. I can't wait to see some of those videos from the panels that I know some will definitely post on their YouTube, and just wait to see how you express your creativity that you have. Is truly by far one of the most original out there. And speaking of Elijah, that we both know, how has that been like? Kind of collaborating with her, and not only her, the other YouTubers out there in the world, like the Meals, Jake Neutron, Relapse Reacts, Morgan Terry, etc. How has that experience been like collaborating with some of these people all over the world and pretty much helping you get to where you're at right now?
I'd say that's probably one of my favorite parts of this job
Mm,
is the new friends. I was never one to really have a lot of online friends because it would just be through like some games and it's
right.
just like, eh. But through this, it's truly special because we're all helping each other grow. And through collaborations, one of my favorite collaborations I've ever done was with Zvav
Mm.
doing the Owl House Hunger Games and Amphibia cahoots and stuff like that. He is hilarious. And just doing collaborations is insanely cool on its own, teaming up with other creators. Because you're just helping each other out. There's nothing to lose on either side. Both side just has things to gain and a
Right.
fun experience in the middle. It's awesome. But meeting the people, even better. Especially when like you can establish such like a strong connection so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know for Elijah, it started strictly professional. I reached out to her the same way I reached out to like Rebecca Parham when I reached out to her for the Three Stones deity cameo in Amphibia Abridged, um, which was just like through professional email. And I sent her a message that was asking her if she'd like to voice Leaf because I actually looked up to Elijah for a while before I started YouTube.
Okay.
I saw that she was reacting to Amphibia and I was like, oh, perfect. So after she replied and said she was interested, then I did it the same way that I would with like any other cast member. I like tried to keep it professional, just a little jokey. I was like, this is so cool. I'm actually talking to like not so average fan. Go, oh my God. She's got so many more subscribers. She's like, she's so cool.
Hey, I
And
said the same thing too, man. I was doing the same thing.
like just geeking out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the episodes came out. We did the collaboration and she loved it. And we just kind of talked a little bit off and on. And then MomoCon came around and she was expressing her interest. And she was like, oh, we should go together. And like, we can like go and meet up at the airport and we can like share a room and go to the convention. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa.
She's playing
Like,
the whole
you've
thing.
done this before. Like I have traveled on my own once. I went to Los Angeles one time to go meet with Zelda for the Owl House Gallery Nucleus event. That was it.
Oh wow.
Um, ever traveling on a plane on my own. I've been on many planes with my family for vacations, but like
Mm-hmm.
that was new. Really cool, but new. So I was nervous as heck. I was so scared. But then we went and nothing has been the same. They're like all bits of professionalism basically out the window. I'm just like, this is just purely just a new breed of friendship that just kind of exploded out of nowhere. And
Nice.
after that trip was done, that's it. Elijah's definitely, I'd say, the person that I formed the strongest bond with over the internet through like content creation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also made some really amazing connections and friends like Morgan Terry and We Last Reacts. Obviously, they are the best.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna
Absolutely.
be going to meet Morgan in person for the first time with Level Up Expo coming up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's very exciting. And then I'll get to meet Moscow for the first time in person at MomoCon. But other people like Jake, my older brother was actually friends with him, and people
Oh.
like Ostrich Vox of the Round Table. He
Hmm.
was friends with both of them before I started YouTube.
Oh wow.
Just because like he lived around one of them, not Jake, but he lived around Kevin, and I was like, that is so cool. So it's just another matter of like he befriended them, and they're like these big creators. I was so jealous. And
Hey,
now I'm one of those content creators for cartoons.
absolutely. Hey, small world if you really think about it.
It's so random, but so cool. Like I could not be more grateful meeting just all the people that I met, all of them. Doesn't matter like how small of a role that they've had if we just shared one conversation. It's still so cool.
Absolutely. I feel that honestly feeling the same way right now. You and me talking right here.
Aw.
And what I want to give back to you and your relationship with Eliza, not so average fangirl. When you first saw her doing the reactions, what was it about her that made you say, I need I need to do more with her, with with my dubs? Was it a certain like pitch in her voice? Was it a certain way she expressed herself? That what was the like light bulb that went off?
She just seemed fun.
Mm.
Like that's all I need. Not even like, oh, you'd be a fantastic actor. Or man, like their voice, just their voice. No, she just seemed like an all-around really fun person. And I was just like, I'll give it a shot. And it went really well. I'm happy that it did, but like literally nothing else. She just seemed like a super fun person.
Nice.
And so she brought that energy to Leaf and couldn't have asked for a better Leaf. Like people
I,
absolutely loved her in that role.
Same here. Love her as Leaf. And is there a certain creator out there, a certain voiceover actor you know out there that you want to hope to one day work with, whether it be on your channel or at someone else's video? Is there some names out there that you have in your head?
Michael Kovac,
Now that
100%.
that's a collaboration I will be dying to see.
He is, as far as like indie voice actors go, or
Hmm.
like people that are doing a ton of stuff online with other creators and stuff, that's my idol right there. He
Nice.
does so much amazing work. He gave me a lot of advice about voiceover booth upgrades and like equipment that he uses. So when I went to upgrade different aspects of my voiceover booth, I did
Hmm.
it based off of the advice that he gave me, and I could not be happier. A ton of fantastic advice for sure. But I would love to meet him, and it would be amazing to work with him on a project one day. Absolutely. As far as like someone who's already in the industry,
Hmm.
Zeno Robinson is definitely like
Uh,
my hero of heroes right now, and he's gonna be at MomoCon, so
yeah,
I will be starstruck for sure meeting him.
absolutely. Hopefully, he has a PlayStation 5 by then. Hopefully.
I'm just so glad that he knows of the joke.
And ladies and gentlemen, that joke is what's called a callback in the game. Is what I've learned.
Oh yeah,
And
he's
that's
aware.
oh, I'm aware. Come on now, I ain't no rookie in this. And speaking of Michael Kovac and kind of the whole animation indie independent boom that we've seen lately with Hazbin Hotel, now started off independent, now gone to the big time with A24 and Prime, but we still got shows like Hell of a Boss, Amazing Digital Circus, Murder Jones. When you see shows like that being more on the independent side, does that give you more hope to continue this run of voiceover into one day when they need to do casting calls or anything like that, your name will probably be the first one on the shelf when they're looking for people?
1,000,000%. I'm doing this to get my name out there as much as I possibly can. So I'm gonna make a demo reel soon because it would be a dream come true to be in one of those projects for like Glitch
Mm-hmm.
or for one of Vivzi's things. Like something like that would be game changing. 100%.
And just, I want to get your opinion on how do you feel that the rise of independent animation has gone? Like from like the last few years since probably Hazbin Hotel premiered on YouTube way back when to now, it's just grown to this huge, massive thing on YouTube. What is your like take on that?
I think it's taken over in the best ways possible. I think that other like big studios just don't even know what they're doing anymore.
Yep.
And they are just putting out some really random choices, and they are making some horrible choices with the shows that they already have,
Mhm.
and it's making the creators have a bad time because it's not what they want. It's just corporate being stupid. But these
Yep.
independent creators, those studios, they have so much more freedom, and they have people that like actually want to do so much. Even like the people that are considered the higher ups want to
Right.
do so much with these. And like I think you can feel that in the productions a lot more than just like a shameless cash grab from Nickelodeon or something.
And with that being said, one of the main kind of champions in that independent run that we're seeing right now is Pop Vivian. And you had a conversation with her back in MegaCon. I watched one of your videos how she gave you some advice. She's a fan of your work. And when you're describing that, you're just over the moon. How crazy is that to see one of these big top creators look at your work and say, "Hey, I love what you do. Please keep doing it."
Uh Honestly, not surprising anymore. I've had
Oh.
that. I was shocked, and I had my moment of pure disbelief that that can even happen.
Mm-hmm.
When Matt Brawley was watching Amphibia Abridged,
Mm.
that that was the huge like, oh my god moment. That was massive. Don't get me wrong, like Viv saying that was huge beyond comprehension. But Matt saying that was the first time I had ever even known that it could be possible.
Right.
And a lot of that's another thing I was talking with some of the Abridged creators that do anime. Like some of them are doing like shows like Jujutsu Kaisen or Goblin Slayer or Sonic X. These anime shows or Sword Art Online, and they said they're jealous of what I'm doing because with
Mm.
me, the creators can see it and talk about it and comment on it and like say that they like it or communicate with it in any way, shape, or form. They can't do that.
Oh, okay.
With their creators, like the shows that they're abridging, those
Mm-hmm.
creators, they don't have like that connection with any of them.
Oh, wow.
So when it comes to like Western animation, this is definitely a big like upside to what I do is that like people like Matt and Vivzy are huge in the communities that they've spawned,
Mm-hmm.
which is really cool. I understand that Dana probably wasn't, and I don't even know if she knows of Owl House of Bridges' existence, but I am happy that Zeno knew. Zeno knew, Sarah knew, well, I knew that Sissy knew for sure, the voice of Lilith. She knew for sure just because she was like friends with Zelda,
Right. Oh,
and
okay.
Zelda was doing it. So I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of the other cast members probably found out about it. But like Dana, I may never know. She'll be at MomoCon, but I don't even think I'll ask. It'll just be really cool meeting her, and I'll just say thank you for making the show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in this opinion, if Zeno knows, Sarah knows, Cece knows, I I'm willing to bet a Canadian dollar that Dana Terrace knows too.
Well, we'll see. Well, when MomoCon comes around, we will take a gander. We'll see if she
Hey,
knows.
it doesn't hurt to ask, you know?
It's true. Speaking of these indie animation people, there are a lot of those actors in that field, and they're like they've had some big breaks already.
Yeah.
But they're still like in the content creation, like collaboration kind of range. But I'm
Mm.
still looking up to them. So meeting people like Lizzie Freeman and Alex Rochon at MomoCon because they're going to be there. So voices of Pomni and Kane.
Yep.
That's gonna be massive. I
Oh,
really want to meet them.
that's gonna be so great to see. And I got to say,
Mhm.
one of your other videos you did with Brandon Rogers was absolutely hilarious, so great. It felt so off the cuff, and it made so much sense.
All I did was propose the idea, and he was like, "Can I hold your phone?" I was like, "Please." Like I knew it was going to be just like he's got that chaotic camera
Oh
pan. It's like
yes,
perfect.
Absolutely. That if there's one person from that universe I want to meet, that would definitely be that person.
He is just the sweetest, absolute sweetest.
Matt,
So, hey, if he's at Level Up Expo again, I forgot if he is or not, but if he is, who knows? Maybe I'll try to just say hello.
yeah, that just doesn't hurt to say hello to an old friend. And while we're still on the topic of BTube, I gotta say, seeing the rise that you have gotten throughout the years is very, very impressive. At the time of this recording, it's now 242,000 views or subscribers. My apologies, subscribers on your channel alone. That's impressive. How hard is it?
42?
Yeah, it's
It went
42.
up one?
It went up one at the time of
Oh
this
my
recording.
God.
Yeah, I do. Hey, when they say I do my research, I do my research.
It just went up one. What the heck?
hmm
Cool.
I'm definitely keeping this in the interview. Let me just say, I'm keeping this in the video. now, now that you see it's now at 242,000 subscribers, when you see this amount of success come to you in such a time frame, is it hard to make sure not to let that success get to your head a little bit and make sure you're trying to keep your level grounded at the same time?
No. I know it is for a lot of other people, but it hasn't been for me. And I think the only reason is that, like, I've stayed a little, like, too humble. But the reason why is just because I don't feel like much has changed. And I
Oh,
don't
okay.
mean that in, like, a way as in, like, oh, all these amazing things that I'm doing and these people that I'm meeting. No, that's incredible. I mean, as far as me, like my friends will joke around and say that they have a famous friend, or this is so and so, he's famous. I'm like, no, I'm not. I will never go with that punch. I'll never roll with the punch. And
Oh,
like, well, not saying I'll never, never. Like, if I actually like hit the freaking Hollywood thing or whatever, then sure, I guess you could like say that is the case. But right now, no. And like, as far as like the success or like letting anything go to my head, like, no, not really. It just feels like I'm having a blast. I'm having
nice.
so much fun, and uh I have never felt like better than like any other random creator. It's like even if I surpass someone or one of my friends and subscribers, even if I did a long time ago, like nothing's changed. I'm still like looking up to them. Like, even though now with like currently where we are now, I've got more like since we met after the collaboration happened for Amphibia Abridged,
Mhm.
Elijah had more subscribers than me. Somewhere along that path, I surpassed her and now I'm above with subscribers. But like that has never mattered once. Like I still look up to her in like a lot of ways, and like even just collaborating with her on one of the reactions that she did recently, I like went into her room space that she has set up for like doing those reactions, and I was just
Huh?
like, oh my God, I've watched this for years, like this is so cool. There has never been like a single thought in my mind that's just like, yeah, I'm ahead of this person totally. Like, no, I'm just a college student chilling out in my vocal booth being ridiculous, but boy, am I making some cool connections out of it.
You definitely are. You definitely are, good sir. And with your videos, I just recently saw the one you posted today, pretty much announcing, putting out the whole Hazbin Hotel bridge. And there was something in that video I really wanted to talk to you about, which I thought it was very, very poignant for you to mention in that video. The
Hmm.
kind of making sure you're making the proper changes to the Hazbin Hotel bridge.
Ah,
Obviously,
yes.
yes. I thought, how important for you is it to keep that level of transparency with your audience to make sure no one's being misled, no one's trying to come after you or anything like that?
So one thing that the channel and that people that follow me definitely know me for is that I'm not one to clickbait. If
Right.
you see it in the title, it's what the video is. That's always how it's been. Um, but like moving past that point, I guess in a case like Amphibia or the Owl House Abridged, people usually just kind of know that it's going in a different direction and knew
Mm-hmm.
that Abridged was its own story. And like with Owl House Abridged, it's still got its own story that will be told.
Right.
Um, but for a series starting up has been Abridged, being the next big sister series to Owl House Abridged on the channel. It's a leap just because it's talking about some more mature content. And especially things, because I know what you're mentioning with my little speech bit about episode 4.
Yes.
With things like that, my channel is not for all ages. Well, obviously it's like for, well, I guess, yeah, it's not for all ages. Because if you are like a child, you should not be watching because there
Very
are
true.
swear words.
Yes.
Sure, I bleep some, but like other than that, yeah, I won't have like a ton of like inappropriate or dirty jokes. I
Right.
don't do that. I don't get like political or anything like that. We're just having good fun. But
Exactly.
there are still jokes that are like in the territory. It's aimed towards like some preteens, teens, adults. Has been abridged. I'm nowhere near making it for kids. It's not like nothing that I make is for kids. And this is not like a dumbed down or more censored version of Has Been, by any means.
Right.
But with it telling like an original story and stuff, and with it being like a parody
Mm-hmm.
and switching a lot of those personalities, I do just want to make people know, because there will totally be serious bits, just like in Amphibia Abridged. It's
Right.
just with this being an adult show by default and it having a more adult fandom by default, I'm definitely going to, for example, like ease up on bleeping any swear words, except for, I don't know, the F-bomb will probably still be bleeped, but that's because of monetization.
Right.
But the other two, B word and the S word, that I usually bleep in my other abridged episodes, those can probably come off for Has Been.
Okay.
And I will still make some jokes that will like, I have the ability to make like some kind of inappropriate jokes, but not like offensive inappropriate. Just like,
Right.
it's a more adult show. I can make more jokes about like the characters possibly being drunk or like things involving that. But specifically for something in the area of Angel and Val
Mm-hmm.
in the show, that's a very, very sensitive topic. And I think it's important for that story to just be told how it's supposed to in the real show. But Abridged, a lot is going to be different anyway. I just wanted to make it a point for people who were like, I guess, more nervous. There were a
Right.
lot of people that were nervous that I might like, I guess, belittle it, talk it down, or make fun of it. Worst of all, I'd never do that. But I do just want to like make clear that I still intend to like make a dynamic there, without giving away spoilers for what I do have planned. Val will still be extremely gross and freaking like, and by
Okay.
gross I mean like disrespectful and like mean. I guess sort of abusive, sure, but
Mm-hmm.
nowhere near the same amount. And
Right.
Angel will have like more of a hatred for him, but it'll be a little bit more of a mutual hatred that the two
Okay.
have for each other. Val's will just be more of like, it'll be more impactful on Angel because he's still going to be using him and something that he's good at, but nothing like the show has. Both of them will have like different. Angel will have like a different set of hobbies and skills, and Val is going to have a completely different profession. Like all sorts of I don't know what I'm allowed to say in this interview, so if you want to bleep this, it's fine. But any sorts of like pornography, stuff like that, that's
Right.
completely cut.
Okay.
We aren't doing that. Val is instead probably going to be, I guess I can say his profession, that's not too much of a spoiler. Val's probably going to be a content pirate, someone who
Uh,
pirates shows
that makes a
because
lot of
of
sense. That would make a lot of sense.
because of the X's.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying he's going to talk like a pirate, but he will be a pirate. And he's going to use something that Angel is good at to do a lot of what he does. And Angel's going to hate him for it.
I see.
And Val is only doing what he does because of something that Vox is doing relating to shows, which will relate to more just jokes. But I can't spoil that because there'll be so many jokes and funny moments that will be had
We
because of
don't
that
want you to
bit.
spoil it. No
No, no,
spoilers.
no.
Keep us in suspense. We want to
Yeah.
be surprised. We want to laugh and haha while we watch the video.
But with keeping it spoiler free, you can expect to probably see in that episode the beginning bit, Charlie going to first talk to Valentino,
Mm.
and then maybe skipping straight to her confrontation with Val.
Okay.
From their interaction with him licking her arm in the doorway. And from there, he's just like overly mean and Charlie starts to see through it and then just attacks, which causes Angel to be like, no, he's going to make things worse. And that'll just lead to what we know. So it'll skip Poison. We're not doing that. There's
Okay.
no song replacing it. And the dressing room scene is going to be completely cut because the context there will be changed, so it wouldn't even make sense with the new stuff, regardless of if it could be used or not. Still not going to, but like, it's pointless for Abridged.
Right.
There's no reason for Val to be doing what he does in that scene because in Abridged he's not gonna have the same profession. However, their confrontation in the club in episode 6,
Mm-hmm.
everything will be there.
Oh,
Nothing is
nice.
cut there.
Okay.
Val is still going to be like a total asshole. Like he's absolutely just going to be a horrible person still.
Right. Still sticking true to the core of the character.
Yes. People can still hate on Val.
Good.
It's just he's not going to be that much of a horrible person. I wouldn't want to cover that because that's not something I feel obligated to speak about. And also that's not something that's funny.
True. Very true.
I want to keep the humor. This is a thing that can really bring the fandom together. And it will still have serious moments, just like my other shows, with the switched context. Like Angel standing up to Val can still be its own very powerful moment, but the context of why he's standing up will just be changed. Same with him and Husker bonding. So like we have given it a lot of thought for the V's professions. Even Velvet's going to be changed like a tiny bit, but just barely. We don't have to really touch her because we've got our own ideas. But
nice.
Yeah, everything else. For some things to look forward to, the equivalent of like the Frobos and the Steve guards in my Abridged dubs will probably be the eyeballs all over the walls and the Egg Boys in Hazbin. Serpentus's hat is planned to have a voice.
Nice. That's a great little touch you're planning to do right there.
Yes. The casting is going well so far. Recently it got a new member on board for casting wise. I can say it here. I won't make the official announcement yet, but if people watch this, they'll know. Milky Melodies, who does a lot of fan songs for Hazbin,
all right,
is going to be voicing Sarah.
That is a fantastic casting choice. Let me just say it. Have mutual conversations with her. She is a fantastic, so I can't wait to see that.
I'm very excited to see kind of what she brings to the table there.
Yeah.
Definitely going to get Shelby involved, possibly as Mimsy, but we'll see on that.
Ooh, that's a good choice right there. Shout out to Shelby.
Definitely going to reach out to Chi-Chi and then reach out to Jake for a possible song. And the 3 songs we have in production for Abridged right now are all original.
Oh, nice.
We are now producing the opening song. I'm getting in a call with Meals tomorrow to discuss the Hell is Forever replacement. And I'm teaming up to doing like a collaborative commission effort, but it's a bigger budget song for Stayed Gone's replacement, which will be a bit of a half song, half roasting rap battle between Hal and Vox.
Okay,
with a really talented creator and musician. I'm very excited, but I won't give those names away. So yes.
You're doing such a good job with the tease, my friend. You're doing such a good toss.
I'm planning a lot.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that Hamilton style rap battle that you're planning there. I feel like that's gonna be pretty fire.
Oh, me too. I'm so hyped.
And not to continue on the Hazbin Abridged series, but with all this happening, does that kind of have to get your creative juices really flowing more, get you to think more outside the box?
For sure. And it's exciting because that way, if I'm doing Owl House Abridged alongside this, then if there are holdups with scheduling or anything, how the dubs are coming out with Hazbin, I can just switch gears and we're going back to Owl House for a couple dubs and go back to Hazbin. I can like bounce it between the two and both will kind of become like the channel's identity. And I can still do like update videos and other dubs in between, like joke song covers, Mickey and Donald dubs, like so many random things, but the creative juices are always flowing. This one is just a different kind because it's a whole new show with a new cast of characters I've never voiced before, but I've always wanted to try.
Okay.
And it's a very just new feeling of just, yes, I can totally do this. And there's just so much new territory to cover. So being able to cover both at once will definitely help.
Nice. That's great to hear. And we'll finish this interview off with this last question. Thank you, Tomoto, for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is one goal you're looking to accomplish in the future? And what future plans besides the Hazbin Abridged that you're looking forward to hopefully do one day, whether it be a year from now, a couple, or maybe by the end of the year? What's kind of like your what does the future globe say for Tomotasauce and your channel?
My goal is to get voice roles, like professional voice roles in some big projects, and maybe collaborate with some bigger creators to get my name more out in that field. And if I can do that and just keep growing the channel and have this going as another job alongside maybe professional voice acting, then I will get closer to my dream, which is just kind of just voicing, acting, being in that field, befriending new people, going to new places because of it. The travel aspect is totally something new that I've just grown to love.
Nice.
So I would love to see myself doing more voice work and YouTube stuff, making just even more connections and going to more of these cons and meeting new people, connecting with these communities, because it is an entirely new experience being a part of these shows' fandoms instead of just watching a show. And having an influence there is huge, 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 huge.
Nice. I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. I feel like we're gonna hear you in one of these shows sooner than later. Let me just tell you, because you're that talented, you have that kind of range. It's fantastic. I want to thank you again, Tomoto, for joining me here today. It was a great conversation. I learned so much about you and how you tackle the world of YouTube and everything like that. It was fantastic. If people wanted to find you and follow you, where can they follow you on?
You can follow me on YouTube. I suppose you can follow me on Instagram, though I'm not too active on there just yet. Maybe soon. And then Twitter. I'm on there for other updates, and that's how I talk with a lot of my online buddies. See
Yeah.
what they're up to.
Oh yeah.
And then also we got a new Patreon with some behind the
Yes.
scenes sneak peeks of stuff, which is amazing. Always nice.
And your fellow moderator right here can attest. It's been nothing but fantastic times on that Patreon. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, fun
This
times on the Discord.
Oh yeah. If you guys want to know, make sure you sign up to his Patreon. Link below will be in the description for all you guys to sign up on. And you guys can also follow me on Facebook at Sam Macias, Twitter at SamMac55, TikTok at SamMac55 as well. Instagram at Sam Macias5, and on YouTube right here, Sam Macias, my first and last name. I swear, if you type it in, you will find me. I'll be the first one. If you don't believe me, I'll send you a Canadian dollar. I have done that before. Don't ask why. And please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel to see more fun videos like this one here. Leave a comment down below. Let Tomoto know what is your favorite role that he's done, your favorite Abridged series that he's done. Let him know. Let me know. And until next time, you beautiful, lovely, gorgeous individuals. Bye.
Catch you later.